Hello and welcome to another edition of the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show. I'm the voice of the Patriots, Richard Todd. Great to be back after a little battle with COVID. Good to be here for the playoffs as a berth in the lower state championship is on the line in Fort Dorchester hosting the Lexington Wildcats. And it was an interesting night at Patriot Field at Bagwell Stadium, and we're going to get to the action. Coming up, postseason play here on the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show next.
With Zaxby's off of Dorchester Road. We're excited to be sponsors of the Fort Dorchester football team again this year. So go Patriots!
And welcome back to the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show with the berth in the lower state championship on the line. The Lexington Wildcats come to visit the Fort Dorchester Patriots, and we're here with the head varsity football coach and athletic director, Steve LaPratt, as we dive into the first quarter of action. And Coach, it was obvious from the beginning, Lexington came out, they were doing up-tempo, no huddle, spread offense, getting some chunk plays on that first drive, but the theme of the night, if not really for the whole season, the defense stepped up in some big moments.
They did. You know, they had a good game plan. They came in. I knew they would. Coach Woolbright does a great job. And like I said, he was my offensive coordinator here in 2006, I believe. He was fresh out of college playing at App State. So he put in the spread. That was the first time we ever ran a spread offense here. So I knew he'd have a good game plan. He did. I knew they would probably have a hard time blocking us. So everything was quick. He got the ball out of the quarterback's hands before we could get to him. Little short plays, and we were kind of giving them a little bit too much yardage on the corners, and they took advantage of that. But they moved the ball, but like I said, as the whole seasons went, our defense stepped up and got us a stop.
Yeah, the defense stopped them on fourth down on that first drive, and then the Patriots' first drive, it looked like the drive was going to end up with a bad sack, a couple of illegal procedure calls, but then the draw play to Michael Smalls, 56-yard run getting you down right there near the goal line, and Devin Geddes were punching in from 1 yard out to make it 7.
Yeah, we put that in this week. It was very effective tonight. I thought the offensive staff did a great job getting that in, and Michael's played hard every single week for us, and he had another great night tonight. So, really a better start offensively than we've had in the last few weeks, and I was glad to see that. We talked about that all week. About how these are playoff games. This is a big one. We got to take advantage of every second we're out there. So I thought they did a great job. We did have some setbacks early with some penalties. I don't know why we had so many penalties tonight until I watched the film. I don't know if they're warranted or not. So right now I'm going to say they are until I watch the film. But we had more penalties tonight probably than we've had the last 3 ball games put together. So that's not a good thing. I just don't know why we had so many, but I'll check the film and see what's going on.
Yeah, the playoffs could definitely heighten the importance of penalties, turnovers, and every possession is even more magnified. Michael Smalls, by the way, 16 rushes for 107 yards, had a really good game. Notice throughout the night the pooch kickoffs. I know that throughout the season we've talked about the inability to get many touchbacks. So was that sort of the strategy to have them do the fair catch and just sort of pooch it so that there wouldn't be any return issues?
Well, they do a double wedge, which is very effective. It's a great kickoff return. We used to do it. It's great to do, but obviously it's mostly set up in the center of the field. So for us to kick the ball deep and give them the ability to do that would have been pretty close to stupid. So we didn't do that. That's why we pooched, and I thought we did a good job. They got one on the 40, but most of them were fair caught on the 25-yard line. Our kickers, did well. Chase Kennedy and Josh Wilson came in, and I thought they did a great job on kicking the ball. So, that was kind of the reason we did that. And it was very, very effective tonight.
Yeah, good job for the defense and a nice start for the offense. It was 7-0 Fort Dorchester after the end of the first quarter. But there is much more to come as we'll dive into second quarter action, again with a berth in the lower state championship on the line as the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show continues next.
Okay, the offensive player of the game against Lexington was Davion Joyner. Davion had another great game, as did Zoltan. Zoltan threw 300 yards. Davion had 10 catches, 144 yards, made some very huge catches to keep drives alive. He also had a touchdown. So Davion Joyner, number 14, senior wide receiver. I am very happy to name you our offensive player of the game against Lexington.
The race is long, and you're still running. You have goals to reach, dreams to chase, and games to play. If arthritis, torn tendons, twists, or strains threaten to stand in your way, don't delay. Trust the orthopedic experts at Roper St. Francis Healthcare. We offer same-day appointments, online scheduling, and more than a dozen close-to-home locations. Visit rsfh.com/ortho now.
And welcome back to the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show. The Patriots leading the Lexington Wildcats 7-0 in the postseason. We dive into the second quarter, and that's where Zoltan Osborne and Davion Joyner started making those connections. Davion Joyner, in fact, would end up having 10 catches for 144 yards and a touchdown, a beautiful 26-yard touchdown pass that got the Patriots down in the red zone. And obviously we talked about every possession is heightened with importance in the playoffs. Yep. And when you're in the red zone efficiency, the drive stalled out. Chase Kennedy with the 22-yard field goal to make it 10-0. That's something with the penalties and the red zone efficiency that when you're going to take on a team like probably Dutch Fort, that you got to make to capitalize every time.
Well, you'd like to you always want to get a touchdown versus a field goal, but I think putting points on the board is a positive. I mean, the better your competition is, you want to say every time you get inside the 20 you should score. Well, that's not true. I wish you could say that, but when the better the competition, it gets a little tougher. You don't have as much real estate down there, and obviously, the way we throw the ball, the more real estate we have, sometimes the better it is for us. So, with the shortened field right there, and we got some penalties and ended up getting behind the sticks a little bit and had to get a field goal. But it was good to see Chase come in there, and we had a good snap, good hold, and did a good job. They're very, very good on the rush, on the extra point. We were kind of worried about that, but I thought we did a good job tonight blocking them, and and got that 3 points. So. I would love for it to have been 14-0, but I was happy with 10-0.
Absolutely makes it a two-possession game. It's 10-0, and then again the defense holds Lexington. The Patriots get the ball back, and there's Zoltan Osborne, who was last week's Player of the Week here in the Low Country. A beautiful 42-yard touchdown pass to Davion Joyner.
Yeah, Davion's just, I don't know what to say about Day. He's just, he's a great person to coach. He's just a good person as a whole, and he's a great athlete, and he's a pressure guy. He's a guy you want to get the ball to. So Zoltan definitely got the ball in his hands, and it was nice to see him score. And that put us up 16-0. And of course, the negative, we missed the extra point.
Let me ask you about that. When you have a missed PAT like that, does that stick in the back of your mind like, oh Lord, I hope that doesn't come back to haunt us at some point?
Well, it's just you just think on our level of ball, that's just a gimme.
Right.
I mean, it is, Chase, if he kicks 500 of those, I would think he'd make 500. So the snap was good, the hold was good, and for some reason he hooked it. It is, I do that in my golf swing, unfortunately, sometimes too.
Well, the Patriots up 16-0. It's still that two-possession game. And then here we are moving towards the end of the second quarter. Lexington trying to put some points on the board to go into halftime. It was looking like they were moving down the field to do that. And then again, the defense steps up, and Kenai Tucker with the clutch interception that would wrap up this first half.
It was good. That's kind of been a Achilles heel for us a little bit. At the end of the games, a lot of times we'll give a touchdown up. End of the half, we'll give a touchdown up. So I kind of told our defense staff, I think we had 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. I said, man, let's don't give anything up. And I'll be daggone, we almost did again. But it was some penalties, some stupid penalties. Those were some that we can't do, that we haven't been doing. So why we did them tonight, I don't know. But I think we gave them a couple first downs, and that hurt us. One time we made a substitution late and had it, the kid didn't get off the field, so that was 12 people in the play, so that ends up being a 15-yarder versus a 5-yarder, which the officials could have been very, very nice and threw the flag before the ball was snapped. But, of course, they did not do that. So instead of being a 5-yard penalty like it normally is, it became a 15-yard penalty. So is what it is.
Well, the defense shutting out Lexington at halftime with some really great plays. The offense, 16-0. Patriots up 2 possessions at halftime with the berth in the lower state championship on the line. But there is much more to come in the second half, and we'll get into those third quarter highlights coming up as the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show continues next.
Okay, defensive player of the week is Malik Holback. Malik Holback's outside linebacker, number 6, senior. Malik's really improved as a football player this year. He had a huge fumble recovery for a touchdown. He ran it about 50, 60 yards. He also had 4 solo tackles in our game against Lexington. So Malik, proud to announce you as our defensive player of the game against Lexington.
The race is long, and you're still running. You have goals to reach, dreams to chase, and games to play. If arthritis, torn tendons, twists, or strains threaten to stand in your way, don't delay. Trust the orthopedic experts at Roper St. Francis Healthcare. We offer same-day appointments, online scheduling, and more than a dozen close-to-home locations. Visit rsfh.com/ortho now.
And welcome back to the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show. The Patriots leading the Lexington Wildcats 16-0 as we move into the second half of action with the berth in the lower state championship on the line. And Coach, I know when you talk to the team at halftime, and I know when you come out to start that third quarter, you want to be an efficient, good first drive. And we were in there in the booth watching this and thinking this was one of the best drives of the year. A great mix of run and pass. You get down into the red zone and you stall again. A holding penalty calls a touchdown back, and you end up being forced to kick a field goal, which was a badly missed field goal by Chase Kennedy. Yep. That's got to be frustrating because it started out so promising.
Well, it was. He wanted to come out and score, and that really, unless something horrible happens, probably the way the defense was playing, game was really going to be over. So that was the plan, and everything was going. And then we just got these penalties, like I said, until I watched the film. It's hard to, like I said, we just haven't been doing it. I don't know why all of a sudden we're doing it. So, I've just got to watch the film. But, yeah, we had a touchdown that got called back.
It looked like Davion Joyner could have been in the back of the corner of the end zone on that pass play. And, by the way, a 3rd and 25 conversion on that drive as well. That's not a common occurrence.
No, it isn't, but that's, that's kind of what we can do. We've got that kind of offense. We've got the weapons to do that. But, yeah, I thought it was a good possibility we scored twice on that drive. And that would have kind of put the game totally out of reach, but it didn't happen. And things happen when these are teenagers, man. They're not professionals. So things start happening. The tide starts turning, and then we got caught. And we had about 4 or 5 other penalties, which helped them go all the way down the field. And like I said, it got a little hairy there for a second. It went from nice, comfortable enjoying the game to, oh my God, here we go.
Yeah, you could hear their fans getting into the game after the stop and keeping the score at 16-0. Again, the defense doing such a great job again in the third quarter. And as Fort Dorchester got the ball, a couple of interesting fourth down plays. At first, it was the fourth down that was a first down, and then they measured it, and it became a fourth down. Quarterback sneaky got that first down. But the next time it was a fourth down, then it was a sort of a fumbled snap, and it seemed like for just a minute that the offense lost their poise a little bit, but they didn't measure that second one, and I noticed you had something to say.
Well, why wouldn't you measure it? I mean, I have no idea why he didn't measure it. I mean, it was so close. And to not measure it, I mean, just measure it. If we don't have it, we don't have it, but measure it. He didn't measure. So I have no idea. There's a lot of things happened that I just didn't understand.
What do you say to the team at that moment when they turn the ball over on downs and it feels like
you're upset? No, but they're teenagers now. I mean, you can't go crazy. I mean, I'm on the headset with the coaches. They're all saying, "Hey, you got to calm down. We got to get this thing going. We got to score a touchdown." So, that was really the gist of everything. Because it wasn't. The tide was kind of changing. Everything was going the other way. I think they fumbled. They even got the fumble back, and it was just you could just feel the momentum changing a little bit, and nothing was going our way right there. And every call that was called. I mean, even when they would do something wrong, we would do something wrong. So it'd be all set penalties. It was great.
How do you deal with that as a head coach with momentum? Is it just a matter of saying, okay, next play?
Well, you try to, and you gotta watch. It's a lot to that, because they're watching you and they're gonna feed off of what you do. Sometimes you got to get on them, and sometimes you got to calm them down. And that's kind of what I went out in the field and told them. I said, calm down, take a deep breath, calm down. You guys know we can block them, we can throw it, we can run it. Just calm down. Let's quit stopping ourselves. So they kind of did, and we ended up pushing one in the end zone in the fourth quarter.
But with the 16-0 lead and those fourth down plays, Lexington gets the ball and does move the ball down the field on a short field, gets a 3-yard touchdown run, and then they go for two and get it. It's 16-8 as you end the third quarter, and it's all about the fourth quarter. You see the team on the sideline holding the four up in the air, but the message to your team when right at that moment it could go either way, but you still have the lead.
Well, we played good defense on that. I mean, it was. I think they made at least. I know they at least got 45 to 60 yards on penalties. I know they did. I mean, our defense played well. I mean, even the 2-point play, they could have not called that good. I mean, it was right at the line, So everything, was like, golly, has anything got, I even told the official that. I said, they that much better coaches than us. They don't ever make any mistakes. I said, I know we make some, but they don't make any, and just like, it's tough to block Devin Geddes now. I'm not going to say they may have held him back 95%.
Devin Geddes, Demetrius Watson, you had the line play was great, the defense was great, but it was a 16-8 game at the end of the third quarter, and the fourth quarter would tell the tale, and we'll get to that coming up as the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show continues next. Welcome back to the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show. The Patriots leading the Lexington Wildcats 16-8 as the fourth quarter begins and a berth in the lower state championship is on the line. And Coach, right after the fourth downs that we were just talking about, and Lexington scores the touchdown to make it 16-8, Lexington has the ball and they're moving down the field with a chance to tie the game. And then came the biggest play of the game. Turnovers often can tell the tale of the story. And sure enough, a fumble by the quarterback for Lexington, and Malik Horlback picks it up, runs it back 59 yards for a touchdown, and it's 23-8. Play of the game.
Well, we play physical brand of ball, and he got hit and put the ball on the ground, and we practice that all the time, scoop and score. So, that's what we did. So, I tell people all the time, defense is what gets you to the show now. It doesn't matter what level of football it is, from Pee Wee to the NFL. Defense is going to keep you in ball games and win you championships. And the offense just got to score enough points to make sure you got one more than the other team at the end. So, our defense stepped up again. That was a huge turnover, changed the whole tide of the game. But that's kind of who we are. That's our identity, And most good teams, that is their identity. And I think we had maybe 3 turnovers tonight. But that's what good teams do that have good defenses. You get turnovers and you take advantage of that. So that was another great example of taking advantage. And, whether you throw a 60-yard pretty touchdown pass to Day Joyner or Malik Horlback picks one up and runs it 60 yards. Defense is all the same thing, still 6 points.
It's been a great season for the defense, and tonight was a great game for the defense. So it was 23-8, back to a 2-possession game. At that moment, Zoltan made what looked like maybe the worst decision of the night right there. It was almost a pick six, which would have changed everything right there. Fortunately, it wasn't a near interception. And the great thing is he still had the composure. And again, he went 28 for 38 for 300 yards. And then he hit Demetrius McKelvey for a 22-yard touchdown that would make it 30-8 and pretty much seal the deal.
Yeah, Demetrius had a rough week. He was sick all week and didn't feel good, and if we threw him 50 balls, he may have dropped 45 of them. He had a rough week, and kind of came. Tonight I think he missed 2 or 3 balls that we would have probably scored a couple more touchdowns on. He's had, I hope he feels better next week, but that was good. That's a ball that, he's a mismatch. He's a mismatch for everybody. So that's a jump ball that he's gotten all year long, and got it once again, and put us up 30-8, and I was happy, and really after that it was really just trying to burn the clock. We probably could have got another touchdown in there, but it wouldn't have helped us any.
Well, with the 30-8 score, of course, Lexington getting a little desperate, throwing the ball, trying to score, and it was rather appropriate that the nail in the coffin was a defensive play, interception by Aaron Lawrence, and that would seal the deal for the 30-8 final score.
Sure, it was good to see defense do that. They played well all night, and it was good. Like I said, I was happy. For a championship game. I thought we did in the playoffs. I thought we did a good job. I thought we played well on defense, played well on offense. Could we have played better on each level? Sure, but I'm happy. I'm happy with the effort. I'm happy with the guys fighting through and doing what they had to do to come up with the victory. So, hey, we're still alive, playing for next week.
Yep, Fort Dorchester is in the Final Four of the 5A football team, still playing. We've mentioned this many times over the year, which is a testament to the Patriot program. You, your staff, the players over the years, that when you're playing around Thanksgiving, you're having a good season. And so here we go again, playing Black Friday and playing again against a familiar foe in Dutch Fork. Obviously, you mentioned again, the defense is going to have to play a great game because Dutch Fork is explosive. Right. How much does the past games that Fort Dorchester has had against Dutch Fork play any role at all in the game that's coming up?
None, but it's Dutch Fork, Fort Dorchester. I think we're the last team to beat them. I think we're the only 2 undefeated teams in 5A football. It is what everybody's wanted for the last 3 months, and
I remember our first show, we were saying that, it could be another year where it's Fort Dorchester and Dutch Fork. Obviously, lots of games to play to get to that point. But now that you're here, in some respects, Dutch Fork, which has won 4 or 5 straight now state championships, they've been our nemesis, but at the same time, there have been games where we've been in it, and then there's been games where we haven't been in it. I mean, what do you do to get the team ready for a chance to play in the state championship?
Yeah, they just got to play. You know, I can remember when the shoe was on the other foot. You know, we went up there and we didn't punt the ball the whole night. You know, we beat the fool out of them. Then it came lower state championship, and I think they beat us by 3 or 4 points. So, you know, it's going to be that kind of game. I mean, it's going to be two heavyweights slugging it out. You know, you're going to have to play good. Whether we're going to have to play good, they're going to have to play good. You know, you're just going to have to play good. I mean, it's a lower state championship, and, you know, whether we're the two best teams in 5A, I don't know, but probably are. Unfortunately, we're both in the lower state, but it is what it is. You know, the state championship, you know, the last, 7 years has went through the lower state. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, this is really like the state championship for us in Dutch Fork. So hopefully the guys will play hard. I know they want to win. I know Dutch Fork wants to win too. Both coaching staffs will work very hard and scheme each other up and try to do a good job. They got a bunch of really good weapons, and we got a bunch of really good weapons. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
It feels like it's been building all season long, and so Black Friday night, come out and support your Patriots. Patriot Field at Bagwell Stadium. We want a big crowd because the winner will be going to the state championship. 7:30 kickoff, Fort Dorchester hosting Dutch Fork. It's been a great season so far, and come out and do that after you have a very happy Thanksgiving. And we appreciate you watching this edition of the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show.
Time creates your life. You never know what happens tomorrow.